follow the leader technique. I'm going to do a technique with you, okay? And this is going to be a general protocol. And again, fill in the blank with whatever you want. My migrainal headache, my low back pain, my kidney disease, whatever. But I'm going to do one with you, and you just say exactly what I say this particular time. And so we're going to start out with damage, because damage can mean a lot of things. Damage is a real broad spectrum thing. And damage can mean disease or illness or any kind of thing like that. So it's very broad spectrum. And so after I say each line, then you say each line, and watch what happens to you. There is damage in my body. Yes. Can you remove the damage in my body? Yes. Will you remove the damage in my body? Yes. Please remove the damage in my body. Yes. Thank you. Now, you'll notice that something will start to occur. Now, it depends on what's wrong with you as to what actual sensations that you'll feel, so that there's no way I can predict that. However, some of the sensations are simply warming type of sensation, things pulling, shifting, moving, anything along those lines, because bones will go back into alignment, muscles will release their tension, chi and blood will definitely move, and that's what causes the warming sensation. You can also use this for emotional problems as well. And so we'll go down on a general protocol for emotional things. Emotional, you could call them emotional traumas or whatever. If you don't have a good name for it, just pick something, give it a shape, and then destroy that shape. So, for example, let's say that you have a friend or maybe yourself who's had terrible emotional issues their whole life, like they had a bad childhood or they were abused in some way, shape, or form. You can simply say, can you remove the emotional traumas from me? Yes. Will you remove the emotional traumas from me? Yes. Please remove the emotional traumas from me. Yes. Thank you. And all of a sudden, everything will start moving around. You may have a little bit of an emotional release, meaning that you may start to cry, you may get angry, you may be afraid. Whatever it is, it'll pass in just a few minutes. And if there's anything left in the end of about 5 minutes, then you might consider doing the technique again. Every time you do it, it'll get easier and easier to do. But some people really harbor a lot of emotional baggage that really harms their body. So you just want to, get that out of there. And now we'll do one more with the follow the leader, and then I'll demonstrate some of the yes therapy applications. And this one we're going to do on spiritual. Now, spiritual can have emotional or physical symptoms, but spiritual, in the term that we use it in, typically revolves around anything that affects your God, anything that affects your home, or anything that affects your job. And so anything that would fall into those areas, those can strike you really deep to the core. And so those are defined as a spiritual area. And so we can do a general spiritual protocol, very simple. There are spiritual problems with me. Yes. Can you remove the spiritual problems? Yes. Will you remove the spiritual problems? Yes. Please remove the spiritual problems. Yes. Thank you. And just like that, I start to feel stuff breaking up off me and moving. I can feel some stuff in the back of my throat moving. And that's because nobody's perfect. Everybody has to live in the world. And not having spiritual or emotional or physical problems of some kind is being as unrealistic as, I don't have to take a bath today because I don't smell that bad, or whatever the case may be. It's a type of hygiene. I call it spiritual hygiene. Nobody ever shows you how to use proper spiritual hygiene. They don't show you how to do proper emotional hygiene. And they focus more on physical hygiene, and some people don't even follow that. But it's because their spiritual and emotional hygiene is unclean. If their spiritual emotional was clean, then their physical would be clean as well. And so I think you should get by now the gist of follow the leader. And so we're going to move on to the yes therapy. Now, so again, just to back up, follow the leader is the practitioner will say the statement in the can you, will you, please do, thank you format, and the person who is having it done to them will repeat everything that that person says. Okay? Now, going to the yes therapy portion, the practitioner will say the can you, will you, please do, thank you format, and the person that is being done to will simply say yes after every line. Because the person is saying yes, they're giving compliance to what the other person just stated. So we'll do a few of those where I'll be the practitioner and I'll say these things to you, and you simply just verbally state yes, and you'll notice that it has much the same effect as if you said the whole thing, simply because you gave compliance. Also, I want to talk real quick about why we would use yes therapy versus the follow the leader protocol. And that's maybe, a lot of people look at you weird when you use this technique. In fact, in my clinic, I actually stopped using it for a while because it scared people so bad because they didn't understand it. And trying to explain that it's just a structured form of prayer, they really didn't get that either because they had other people pray over them and nothing had happened. Well, it's about how you pray and who you're praying to. If you pray to the one true God, then it's going to happen. If you pray for something directly to occur, it's going to happen, provided that the other person who's receiving it is open to collecting that healing blessing. So it's all a matter of who you're praying to and how.